Alright guys, we have a lot to talk about in this video. So in the past few days, there has been a ton of outrage between the Apex Legends community and the developers of the game. Apparently, on Reddit, a ton of shit went down yesterday, or I think the day before, where, as always, a lot of people were complaining about the unfair prices for the loot boxes that Apex Legends just recently added into the game. The developers were responding to these comments in very negative and unprofessional ways, calling the gamers asshats, dicks, and just saying things that I never thought I would see a game developer say on Reddit. Like, these were very personal comments, and it just seemed so wrong to read these. And I'm going to show you guys that later in the video, but let me just quickly explain where this all kind of came from. So I'm just going to do this real quick, by the way. As you guys know, a few days ago, the Iron Crown event started in Apex Legends. They added the new Iron Crown packs, which are $7 each. It randomly gave you one of the 24 cosmetic items that they added into the game. Obviously, this was kind of unfair because these were the first set of skins that were like amazing for Apex Legends. Like, these were very good skins, and instead of being able to just go into the store, you know, spend $18 to buy one of these skins, you had to buy one of these $7 packs to randomly get a skin. And if you didn't get the one you want, then you either got to pay $7 more, or you kind of just got to leave it at where you're at. So a lot of people were unhappy at that. I understand why people were mad on Reddit. I don't agree with the people who were telling the devs to like kill themselves and all this other shit. Like, you were just raised by wolves, and honestly, dude, you need a therapist if you're out there on the internet telling people to do that. And I also disagree with what the devs were saying, calling people dicks and asshats and saying that, you know, gamers are just freeloaders, super unprofessional. They took it way too personally, and this whole thing just blew way out of proportion. So I'm going to read to you guys what some of the developers' responses were on Reddit, kind of like digest them and sort of explain, I guess, what their viewpoint is. I'm trying to come at this from kind of like a middleman standpoint, because I don't hate the game developers. I don't hate people on Reddit. I just think this situation got way too out of control, and now everyone is pretty much just running with it. Like, there's memes everywhere. Basically every like mega thread on Reddit, r/Apex Legends, is being downvoted to 0. Devs are just basically non-existent at this point, not saying anything besides a few individuals who I will point out that were trying to be the mediators in this situation, actually posting, you know, positive things rather than insulting their fan base. But let's get into this first comment, guys. Now, I do just want to tell you guys, these posts are real, but unfortunately they've all been deleted off the subreddit, so I don't know what people were saying in response to what the dev said, but this is what one of the Respond devs said about the other day. So he said, "Hey everyone, found the dick I was talking about. Guess what? I didn't even read your comment except for the first sentence and last. This kind of garbage doesn't warrant a reply, but lucky for you, I already made a comment about this earlier. Go find it." So I'm assuming this guy is just, again, kind of like saying Respawn is in the wrong for making loot boxes so expensive, and just, you know, there's been so much talk about whether Apex Legends is scamming people with their skins, and, you know, that's basically what he's responding to. But this was kind of like, I think, the first of many comments that were made that were just really unprofessional. I mean, calling a gamer who plays your game and probably has spent money on it in the past a dick is just super unprofessional, and I just don't understand what got to this guy. And I think one of the community managers for Respawn, like the dude who is supposed to like be the middleman of the community and the company itself, was posting some nasty comments to the fan base, which I think is in like Community Manager 101, like of what you're not supposed to do. Like, the whole point is to kind of just be the mediator. You're the news giver. You're not the person that's actually, you know, making these official changes. And this guy just took it way too personal. But I do understand where the developers are coming from at the same time, because if you spend years and years on a game, so much for your time, and you're super proud of it, and then people are, you know, complaining about something that is a big deal, but at the same time isn't a big deal because it doesn't affect, you know, the gameplay or anything about that. Like, these are skins that people buy just because they want to look cool. It doesn't change anything about how you play Apex, and the fact that the game is free to play for everyone, I can tell how, or at least I would understand why this would get under your skin as a developer. Moving on to the next comment, there is a wealth of data available on how monetization works in free-to-play games, and we ourselves have run tests by putting skins on sale in the store. The amount of people who spend is crazy low. Most of y'all are freeloaders, and we love that, and a change in price doesn't move the needle. So I think this was one of the big comments that just made Reddit explode and just the internet explode with anger. I think freeloaders was definitely the wrong term. What he was trying to say is that there's a lot of people who don't spend any money in Apex Legends, that just play the game for what it is, and they don't care about skins or anything that they have to buy because they just enjoy raw Apex Legends. That's good enough for them. And I think that's what he was trying to say, but but calling someone a freeloader is more of like the disrespectful way of putting that. So I definitely understand why people were upset that he said freeloader. It was not the right choice of words to use at all. As for the first sentence saying that there's, a ton of data saying that, putting skins at this price is the best way to profit from the game, I just don't understand that at all, and I would really love to have some more clarification, because I'm not sure what kind of data they're running. Like, if they're just taking data from Apex Legends and the people who have already bought skins, then I understand that, but they haven't even really tried to, put out more skins on the store, reduce the prices. So I don't understand how that data could really be respectable. And if they're comparing this data to games such as Fortnite and League of Legends, well, there's other things involved that would kind of mess up the data, because in games like Fortnite, which is a third-person game, you buy a skin, you're always seeing that skin when you're playing, and you feel like you're getting more value out of it. But in Apex Legends, if you get a character skin, there's only a few times in the game where you actually notice that your skin is different, which is in the beginning of the game, the end of the game, and anywhere during the game where you see yourself on one of the banners scattered throughout the map. So I'm not really too sure what he's trying to say with this comment. I honestly just don't know. I kind of disagree with it, but they have their data, and if it supports what they say, then who am I? This next comment has a ton of downvotes, almost 2,000, which is fucking ridiculous. And one of the developers said, "I've been in the industry long enough to remember when players weren't complete asshats to developers, and it was pretty neat. I forged a bunch of long-lasting relationships from back then. Would be awesome to get back there, and not engaging with toxic people or asking how high when a mob screams jump is hopefully a start." So calling your fan base asshats, obviously not the best choice of words. Again, I understand your frustration. You worked on this game for a long time. You're upset that people are complaining about something which, to you might not seem like a big deal, but to us, when we're surrounded by free-to-play games that don't have these insane prices, we kind of have a right to voice our opinion, and we should be voicing constructive criticism and not, these toxic comments just attacking these developers, a lot of whom don't even really have a choice on whether, the skin should be cheaper or not. That probably comes from a higher level in the company. And I do have to agree, with social media, the relationship between gamers and developers has definitely declined. We're in an age where we want to know every little detail of every little update in a game. I mean, back in the day, you would spend $60 on a game, and maybe they would release content, like once every 3 months, and people were happy about that. There really wasn't a lot of communication between, the company's social media page, and not even between like the developers themselves, who at this point seem to just be kind of like personality stars of game companies. Like, the fact that everyone has, their own Twitters with thousands of followers, every time they make a mistake and say something that goes against what the company would want, it just makes the company look bad. So I never really understood why we are like almost glorifying these developers on social media. They're just people too. They have their own opinions, but at the same time, I just don't think it's smart for companies to allow them to be like, oh, hey, I'm on Twitter, follow me here. I could say basically whatever I want, and all someone has to do is just snap a photo like this, and a whole shitstorm is going to go down because of that. So this time we actually see something that this guy was replying to. So this first guy said, "What I read was Wales didn't buy enough Apex packs to make up for everyone else not buying, so we have to do something to get pretend goodwill from players." So I'm guessing this was a comment that JFresh made before, saying like how the overall player base isn't spending enough money on these Apex packs. And I guess this guy kind of took it out of context, saying that he, figured that only the richest of the rich were going to buy these Apex packs, which obviously isn't true. I mean, there's people out there who have spent money on this game that don't have the money to spend on this game. They're still going to do it regardless. And this guy just said you should work on your reading comprehension. So that's not really something too bad. I mean, compared to the other ones, definitely not bad at all. I'll show you guys in a second one of the actual good responses that a lot of people appreciated, and I think more people should be like this guy. But there's one more kind of bad response that I just wanted to get to real quick. So now at this point, the Respawn developers are trying to do damage control. I think they're responding to more and more people, which is just making everything go even more out of control. So this one guy commented, "Yeah, but he called someone a dick, not you in particular." And one of the Respawn devs says, "I think technically I was calling gamers dicks. I don't know, I had a spicy lunch, feeling it." So if you look back to the very first one that I went over, he basically said, "Hey everyone, found the dick I was talking about." And I'm pretty sure he was responding to one dude in particular who probably just had some sort of nasty comment. But the fact then that he says all gamers are dicks, that just kind of blows it out of the water. And these guys who are on Reddit, whose job is to interact with the community, especially on Reddit, because tons of people visit Reddit every day. It's a real easy way for them to just communicate by just, typing out threads and responses. And there are bots on these subreddit pages that basically pull all responses from developers and put them at the top. So you can imagine why these had a ton of downvotes and a lot of people were hating on them, because as soon as you scroll through the thread, you see all of the responses from the developers, and most of them were basically like this, calling people dicks and just saying rude and hurtful things about the community. So this comment by RameCV was, I guess, to kind of just put out the fire, because a lot of people were attacking the developers, Drew and Jay, who were the ones, kind of like attacking the people in the Reddit comments. Again, I understand why they felt the need to kind of like take these things personal, because they were being attacked personal by people on Reddit. But again, it's just super unprofessional to say those things on a Reddit forum. But basically this guy goes, hey, listen, I get that you don't know anyone from the studio personally, that we might as well be evil robots or trained murder pigeons or whatever for all you know. So he's trying to make a joke, trying to make just everything a little bit more lighthearted. Then he says, if your takeaway from the last 6 months of Apex is these diabolical, lying, money geniuses know exactly what they're doing to surgically extract our soul cash, then oh buddy. Personal opinion here from a grunt in the trenches, the last project this team put out was a $60 box product that I love. I assumed we were stuck doing that until the heat death of the universe, but lo and behold, Apex. I'm super proud of the leadership and business teams for getting us from the $60 at the door or GTFO nerds sales model to $0 to play, no pay to win, cosmetics and battle pass to keep the lights on. Obviously, we don't have it all to a science yet, but I got to work on gameplay stuff today that everyone will play for free in X weeks, months, and that's cool. Anyhow, Drew and Jay are being honest with you, and they're good people. I suggest engaging with them in good faith in those Q&A threads if you have concerns or questions about all of this. I mean, argue and have your opinions for sure, but the conspiracy and personal attack stuff is disheartening. So I do agree with part of what he's saying. I don't think that people should be personally attacking these developers, because I don't think a lot of people understand how little power they have in actually changing the prices. I think it comes from above their heads. So, personally attacking these guys, and obviously they have social media, more people who follow them might know a little bit more about their personal lives. So saying anything bad about that is definitely just wrong in my opinion. But really, I haven't seen any developers acknowledging the mistake they made and trying to offer a solution to how we can make this better. Because obviously this all started when we got all of these great skins in the new event, and then we had to buy a $7 loot box to randomly get one of the 24 skins that we might have wanted or might not have wanted. And so far, no developers has said anything on that. Obviously, we know that in the next couple of days, they're going to be rotating those skins in the store. I think this happened before that announcement, so that might have just been a huge PR stunt to, get people to stop talking about this. I have no idea. I'm just worried that something like this is going to happen in the future. I really don't want to see Apex turn into like what Black Ops 4 turned into. If you guys don't know, what they're doing in Apex right now, or what they just did the other day, is what Black Ops 4 has pretty much been for a long time. A lot of microtransactions, a lot of loot boxes, a lot of paywalls for content. And theirs is worse because it's almost kind of pay to win, because you buy loot boxes to get new weapons, and that's something that I'm really scared of Apex doing in the future, and hopefully they don't. But again, after all of this stuff that I've seen, seeing developers of games personally attacking other people on the internet, like, people are going to complain on Reddit all the time, man. You just can't take it personally, especially if you're in that position where you make the entire company look bad. Honestly, I don't know if I'm going to make any more videos on this. There's probably going to be something that's going to happen with this situation in the future. But for now, this is all of the information I have. Like I said, most of these developer comments were deleted at some point, so I only have a few to show you guys. I just want to personally say that I don't hate the developers. I love Apex Legends as a game, and I do agree that a lot of the stuff that they do in the game is awesome. Really, it's small things that make up a huge part of what the game actually is. I don't think that, skins should be priced at $18. I don't think they should be adding new currencies, adding new loot boxes that are even more expensive than the original ones. I just want the game that is already there, Apex Legends, and I just want cheaper skins. That's it. I want to feel good about spending money on this game. I want to support it, and I feel like more people would, despite what the data says or how they even got this data. I feel like more people would buy these skins if they were cheaper priced. Anyways, that's all for today's video. Obviously, if you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, feel free to drop them in the comments down below. I'll try to answer any if I do know the answer. But again, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all next time. Have a great day. Peace out.